Hello and welcome to another episode of the DTF Podcast.
Hey, I got a bone to pick.
Guys, I am so fired up.
Sleep deprived and all, I'm happy to be here.
You probably cut up your hot dog. You don't need it on a bun.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the DTF Podcast. My name is Rob Dosser. I got Fanta here with me. I got T.O. with me. We are recording this on Friday, October 3rd. You're going to be listening to it probably on Monday morning, October 6th, as we get ready to head to ACC Media Day. T.O., you are going to be down there in Charlotte.
I'm with you guys,
Goodman,
man.
With John Henson, with Tyler Hansbrough, with Randolph Childress, with, unfortunately, Dagan Hughes and Connor Herrick and those guys. But we're going to have 2 days of wall-to-wall, back-to-back, whatever you want to say, coverage of the ACC. Going to talk to every coach and every player that makes it down to Media Day. And we figured that was a perfect time to roll out an ACC preview here on the DTF Podcast. T.O., this is your country, man. This is your area. This is your space. This is your expertise. Me and Fanta had a lot to say about the Big East. We're from the Northeast. We're Big East guys. You are a Clemsoner through and through, even if their football team is making you regret loving that program so damn much. Talk to me about the ACC. Give me a rundown. Give me a big picture spiel. It's your time to shine, T.O. Give me your best fan of speech on the ACC right now.
Let me ask you this. I forget. How many teams we have last year make it to the NCAA tournament?
68 teams made it to the NCAA tournament.
In the conference.
4.
Okay. We'll double that this year.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. I think we get to 8. I think the top 8 in this conference is really good, and it's going to be really fun to watch. The influx of talent, the 2 schools in Virginia, going overseas and grabbing guys that are freaking good, and not just good, but lottery pick level good. It's going to be really fun to watch, really interesting to see. Storylines aplenty. Will Wade, NC State, Jay Lucas, Miami, Luke Laux. I'm not sure how their team's going to be this year, but first year for him, how's that going to go? And then you have Jumbo Carolina. So you have all these different storylines to go along with Duke, to go along with some of these other schools. I think there's going to be 8 teams make the NCAA tournament. Last couple of years, I've been overly optimistic. I'm looking at talent alone. And talent alone, 8 teams of this league should be dancing. So that's an early hot take. Could be more. I think there's a couple of teams that are flirting with potentially being bubbly. But I like 8 teams from the league this year to be really good. And it's going to be a night to night situation in the conference.
I actually agree with that. I like to be an ACC hater just to
piss me off,
piss you off because it's so much fun.
It works.
But I'm with you there. I'm glad you said Virginia Tech too, because that was going to be, spoiler alert, one of my bold predictions here when we get to the end of the show. So I'll save that. Fanta, what do you think of the ACC, my man?
Well, I think that this league got better in the offseason with the hires that were made. I think that Will Wade is going to be the disruptor in this conference and really nationally, because what he does is he always fields a winning team. He knows how to recruit. He knows how to set a culture, one that the players can understand. And he's been very transparent about some of his past, and I just think he's better off for it now, because the things that he was doing in the past, let's face it, now it's wild, wild west. This is Will Wade's wild, wild west. Like, if there's anybody that knows how to go about it, it's him. I think Jay Lucas was the right hire at Miami, and I think Miami is going to be a good team.
I do too.
That roster is really interested. I mean, if Malik Renew and Ernest Uday can pan out in that front court, there's some upside there. And then the guard play, I mean, Trey Donaldson, True Washington, I really like them. And I think that Miami's a really intriguing team. Look, Duke, the Boozer Show is a national headline. Will they get enough guard play? But Duke owned this league. And, yeah, Clemson's been there. Carolina's been there at times, but like Duke's been at the top, and Virginia, Tony Bennett, when he had it cooking, he was right there as a challenger to Duke. But let's face it, like by the end of last year, it was like Duke is far and away the best team in this league. Well, heading into this year, you can't say that they're far and away, if they even are. They may not be the best team in this league. Louisville looks the part of potentially the best team in this conference. That's good for the ACC.
Right.
because there's more competition at the top. And I think that when you look at that, I see one big key to any conference is, do you flip the page to January and February and you say, that's a good game. That's a good game. That's interesting. That's fascinating. The ACC is going to have more of those this year.
Yes.
Because of Wade, because of how good Louisville is. You're going to see those home courts come alive. You can't count out Brad Brownell and Clemson and his ability to, as much as they've had turnover, to still be a factor in this conference. I think there's some pressure-packed years here for a couple of schools. That's what's also intriguing, like Syracuse, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. You got to win some ball games.
Carolina.
Yep, and we haven't even talked about Ryan Odom and what just to see the groundwork laid.
They kind of snuck through the cracks here because nobody's talking about him. And
that's the way he likes it, man.
You look at their roster and it's like, oh, buddy.
But you got to win games in November and December. That's what it comes down to. That's the name of the game. And I think
here's the biggest thing, Fanta, when you say that, right? It's not just Louisville and Duke and Carolina and like the top teams having to win games. It's the bottom. Like what has really dragged this conference down in recent years is the fact that like the bottom third has at times been dreadful. There have been years where like there's 3 teams in this league that you don't even want. Like it'd be better off if they just didn't play anybody because they end up being good enough in late February to pick off teams every once in a while, and because they were so bad in November that it ends up being the kind of thing that will ruin your season if you lose to them and destroy your numbers when you play them 2 or 3 times. Like that's who's got to win. It's not Syracuse and Clemson as much as Cal, Stanford,
Boston
Pitt,
College,
Notre Dame, BC, Florida. Like those are the teams that are going to end up having to win. So
like we can't have this year. Like, man, in February, these guys are awesome. Like that's the problem. And that's the problem we've run into over the last couple of seasons. Like Notre Dame, for example, I think they only played like 13 games with both Braden Shrewsbury and Burton in the lineup together. Like, we can't have that. Like, Notre Dame's got to hold its pants up. And they didn't add a ton. They're relying on, a lot of returners. But it's like, hey, guys, we need you. We need you. They did bring a kid in that's pretty interesting, though, that'll go along with those guards. But we'll get there. Yep. But it's the non-conference is so important. And I like the way some teams scheduled. Some of the other teams, I get a little nervous.
All right, let's start
like
with
look
this.
at like real quick here. Like look at like an SMU, who I think is a tournament team.
I do too.
If you look at their schedule, they don't have a hard game really until they go to Mississippi State on November 28th, and then they're at Vandy. Like if I'm an SMU fan, they have at Mississippi State, at Vandy, A&M, and LSU. Like you can't go 1-3.
No, you got to go at least 500 in those.
You got to get 2.
Yep.
Like these are the stretches of games that are going to be important. Look at a Notre Dame who's going to play Ohio State, play in the Players era, play Missouri in South Bend, and play TCU. We talk about getting bids. You gotta, when you have your 4 or 5 games against high majors, you can't go 1-4. Like you have to get at least 2 wins. You have to be able to enter league play and say we carried our weight.
Yep, that's why the SEC got 14 or 13 in last year, whatever it was.
Yeah, because they need the breaks out of everybody.
They won every game that they needed to win of the night. Literally every single one. I think that they went like it was something like 31-3 against top 25 opponents out of conference.
Man, they had 2 of the Final 4, and they could have had 3 of the Final 4. That's how good the SEC was last year.
All right, let's do 5 things to know in the ACC. I want to start with this. Duke might have lost Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and Kamo Malawach, but they are absolutely 100% going to be back this year. They added a guy by the name of Dami Sarr. They added a guy by the name of Caden Boozer. I expect Isaiah Evans to take a big step forward this year. Malik Brown should be healthy. Caleb Foster should take a step forward. They love the Nick Kamenia kid. And T.O. They got Kamenia, whatever his name is. Hamenia. But the star of the show is going to be a young man by the name of Cameron Boozer, Carlos Boozer's son, the taller of the 2 twins that are going to be enrolling at Duke, and a guy that has simply put won and produced at a ridiculous level everywhere that he's been coming through the prep ranks. T.O., what can Duke fans expect to see out of Cam Boozer? And am I right to be as excited about this team and this program this year as I am?
You know what? Like, yeah, absolutely. You're right to be excited about it. I think, I've done this before, but Cam Boozer's a more athletic version of Kevin Love in college. Kevin Love was awesome at UCLA. People don't remember that. Now people just, especially a lot of recent fans are looking at Kevin Love like he's a piece. He comes in, he rebounds, he makes an outlet pass. Dude, when he was young, man, and when he was at UCLA in the first 5 or 6 years of his NBA career, like he was a dude. Cam Boozer is a dude. He makes those same outlet passes. He starts the break as well as anybody. He's improved his long-range shooting. That's the thing that's coming out of camp more than anything else, his ability to knock down shots. But it's not just Cam. Like, I think Isaiah Evans will average 20 points. I think because he's one-track minded, like he's going to figure out ways to do that. People are worried about their point guard play. I'm not as. I think Caden Boozer's good. Now, is he this all-world athlete and dunking on people like guys they've had before? No. But like when you have all those guys everywhere else, you just need somebody to get the ball across the floor. I like he's a terrific passer. He just wins, and whoever Cam's been making these outlet passes to, it's been to Caden. So Caden's making a lot of these reads, and they're going to push the ball and make smart decisions. I'm just this team, this lineup. Patrick Gungba coming back, he's going to be able to play the 5 with Cam Boozer at the 4. They're going to be huge at times, and some of these defensive lineups that Duke has, like really, really good. Dame Sarr is interesting. Interesting. I mean, interesting enough to where last season he was called up to Barcelona's top team, and that doesn't just happen for young players. So, a really interesting group of kids. Sebastian Wilkins is a beast. He's an athlete, but Hymenia is going to be able to hit shots, and then we'll kind of see how it all falls into place. But like when you look at their top 10 guys, and I'm a big fan of Darren Harris, and he's the 10th one. It's like, man, my gosh, like this is a good team.
Yeah, really good team, a team that can absolutely make it to Indianapolis. And you just wonder, I think you have to start when you talk about Duke to talk about Jon Scheyer and the job that he has done, and this is the unfair reality of our world, but how last year ended. Like that is a huge storyline to him and to Duke as a program. Their expectations are to win national championships. And they've got a team that, if all the pieces come together, here's the good news about John and Duke. Like
2-year extension.
Yeah, he just got extended. Well,
what a way to celebrate Yom Kippur.
Yeah, very, very nice. No question.
Good for him.
Very, very nice. Look, I think what's great, what you can easily tell is that Jon Scheyer could be the Duke coach for 30 years.
Yes, and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Health provided.
Absolutely. But that validation factor, like he's done it in the recruiting ranks. He's kept Duke, if not accelerated Duke there. But I think that the key for this team, it all comes down to guard play. I know you're not as concerned, but they still have to prove it. And this now is Caleb Foster's time to show what he's capable of on a game-by-game basis. Isaiah Evans, 20 points per game, that's certainly... If that happens, that's really remarkable. I mean, that's a big proclamation. I hope that it happens. And Caden Boozer, I agree with you. Like, I think he's undervalued, underrated because of who his brother is. But he's a smart player who, when he gets on the floor, I think will make the right reads and will be fun to watch and be an energizer bunny of sorts. I think the most interesting player on the team is actually not Cameron Boozer. I agree with you. I don't know if you were saying this, but I think the most interesting player on Duke is Dame Sarr.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy who you have professional experience already. At the Nike Hoop Summit, you starred. You were on Team World, and he played really well in that game in the 25 minutes he played against Cameron and Caden Boozer. And his physique for someone his age is special, and when you can get involved with Barcelona and have that experience, I don't care how many minutes you're playing per game. He shot 52% and he shot 43% from 3. He has shown the capabilities to knock down the jumper. I think he's got a loaded set of skills, and I think Duke has multiple game changers. It would appear that Duke has multiple game changers. Now, the key is Tyrese Proctor, right? And how am I blanking on the name? Who was the other guard last year? Tulane transfer.
Sion James.
Tyrese Proctor and Sion James supplied so much experience, stability, all those things for Duke last year. That's the difference with this backcourt. This backcourt this year doesn't have a Sion James walking through that door. At least at surface level, they don't. So this backcourt has to have things. It could be a little bit more of a process, right? Like this team is not going to be in March who they are in November. Whereas if you watch Duke last year, from December on they dominated. They were as good as any team in the country. I think this season arc's going to be different, don't you think? A little bit, Rob.
Man, I think
they're not going to be as good as last year. There is no way that they're as dominant of a team. They're going to lose ACC games.
Yeah, well, I mean, my take
I think that has also to do with the ACC in general. But I agree.
Yeah, but if you think that this Duke team is as good as last year, come on, man.
I don't. No, and my hot take is that last year's Duke was actually the best team that we've seen in like the last decade in college basketball.
And I couldn't disagree with you more on that.
I think that they are up there with the 2024 UConn, 2018 Villanova, 2009 North Carolina. Like, I think that they were that good. They just gave it away at the worst possible time and cost themselves a chance to be able to have that legacy. I don't think this Duke team is going to be that good, but I certainly think this Duke team can win a national championship, right? Like, they are once again built in the mold of a professional roster. Their smallest guy on the roster is Caden Boozer, who's like 6'4", 220, right? Like, Isaiah Evans is 6'6". Dame Sarr is 6'7", 6'8". Cam Boozer's 6'9". Malik Brown's going to play some 5 at 6'9". And Gongba's 6'11". Khaminya is 6'8". Darren Harris is 6'6". Caleb Foster is 6'5".
You just took off and ran with Khaminya.
Yeah, I know. I love it now. It's not my favorite name in college.
They got great length. The roster build's excellent. By the way,
they're going to switch everything, and they got and just real quick, like they have playmakers all over the floor. Like, they don't have to have a point guard, but they have 3 different guys that can be point guards. They have 2 different guys who can go out and win them a game all by themselves just by scoring, and Cam Boozer and Isaiah Evans. Like, this team is going to be fantastic. And my hottest take is that they're not even going to be the best team in the ACC this year. So we'll get to that in a second. But go ahead, finish your point on Duke, Fanta.
There's a difference between being the best team in the last decade and up there.
Mm-hmm.
They're up there. The past year's team was up there. But you're not the best of the last decade, because that to me belongs to Connecticut.
Yeah, because you have to win it. You have to win it, right?
You have to be able to win it. So I want to clarify that, because Duke fans are probably going to go crazy at me. I think that last year's Duke team was right up there among the most talented teams we've seen of the last decade, if not the last quarter century. I think this Duke team is going to be really good. I think last year's team had a luxury of riches, both young and old. Now, this year, some of the older guys have yet to fully be in the big-time role. That's kind of the unanswered question. But let's see if these guys can perform. If they get great guard play, they could win the national championship.
Yep, 100%. As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. The college basketball season will begin right here on the Field of 68. At 8 a.m. on November 3rd, we will be tipping off the inaugural Field of 68 opening day marathon. 15 hours of non-stop basketball. It will begin in Rock Hill, presented by our friends at Visit York County. Plan your itinerary today at visityorkcounty.com. NCAA.com. Winthrop will face off with Queens in the opener, followed by Bradley taking on St. Bonaventure. Then we head out to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where it'll be presented by Sanford Sports, who is changing the way people play and making sports accessible and fun for all. Murray State gets Omaha at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, with Drake taking on Northern Arizona in the second game in Sioux Falls. Then it's back to Rock Hill for a showdown between Furman and High Point, with Merrimack taking on South Dakota State in Sioux Falls in the nightcap. Tickets for all 6 games are on sale now at the links in the description below. Field of 68, opening day. All right.
I think Louisville's the best team in the ACC going.
Yeah, well, thing to know number 2 is that my take is that Louisville is the best team in the ACC with the way that they're built. Tio, I'm going to let you go ahead and explain why you think that, and I can add on after.
Well, they might have a top 5 guard in the draft, or a top 5 pick in the draft, and their point guard, Michael Brown. Like, he is that good. He is that good and that talented. And not only that, like, you look at the 3 guys they brought in, like Ryan Conwell, proven score, done it. High percentages, awesome. Isaac McNeely, some of the shots he made at Virginia while the rest of that team stunk, impressive. And then I think McNeely is going to be, Rain Smith had a game last year where he hit 11 threes. That's hard to do. I don't know that he does that, but I do think he has several games where he's in that 5-6 3-point area, just because there's so many weapons. He's going to have more room than he's ever had in his college career. Adrian Woolley is the guy that people aren't talking enough about. He's just a guy that transferred up from Kennesaw State, super duper talented, wildly efficient. And all 3 of those guys I just mentioned, big physical wings with pretty good size and athleticism. So you bring back Javon Hadley, who's an ultimate glue guy. Case in Pryor, is he going to be okay after going through knee problems? Ali Khalifa is the interesting one, though. Being such a good passer and then having Conwell, McNeely, and Woolley running around the perimeter finding shots. Are you kidding me? Like, it's –
There's going to be times, Tio, there's going to be times where they play Khalifa at the 5 with Brown, Conwell, McNeely, and Woolley on the floor with him, and they're just going to say, whatever, we're going to hit a 3 on every single possession. You might score on every possession because that team's not going to play any defense at all. But it's not going to matter because 3 is more than 2.
I almost disagree. I disagree there. I think Michael Brown is a freaking dude defensively. He's so athletic and so long. I like Kenai Ruths whenever he gets in the game. So he really improved from first game to 30th last season. And then they brought in some guys from Europe. So Nanda Frew has like a 7'4" wingspan. Like, and he is that bouncy rim protecting guy that's played at high levels of basketball. So this isn't going to be a huge
21.
adjustment.
Like, he's not a freshman. Like, he's 21. He's an adult.
Evangelos Zougris from Greece is a beast. He is a beast, and he changes things up. He does all those things on the floor that you love, and he's more athletic than I think people give credit for. So many weapons, guys. And like, Louisville fans will be like, well, what about Kobe Rogers? Kobe is good. He's good too. Let's just go ahead and throw his name in there. But the rest of those guys we talk about, like, man, I mean, this is a stacked team as far as every position.
They have 4 guys that are all going to be capable of shooting 45% from 3 while taking roughly 5 threes per game. They have size across their perimeter. They have 2 players in Javon Hadley and Case and Pryor that can slide in and play like that 3-4 role if you need to get a little bit bigger. If you want to have like a rim running 5 and a shot blocker, you put Frew out there. If you need to have a big physical body to kind of to bang on some people and, maybe bloody a nose here or there, get some rebounds, you put Big Zoo out there. If you want to go a little bit more pace and space with an initiating 5 to play at the top of the key and create offense through that way, you can put Khalifa out there. There's just so many different looks they can give you, so many different ways that they can play. They go 10 or 11 deep. And I'll tell you this, man, I spent a day down there with them. They are all bought into the idea that this team can win a national championship. I think that they're the best team in the ACC. I think that they will have the best offense in America this year. And if they can find a way, Fanta, to be like a top 40-ish defense in college basketball this year, I think that there's a very real chance that they'll be able to cut down the nets on that first weekend in April in Indianapolis.
What you end up being in terms of your national championship hopes is dependent on whether or not you can get stops and whether or not you are connected, especially when you've got the tools in the box. Louisville has all the tools. They can win the national championship. Pat Kelsey has built this thing up, and he barely needed any time to do it. I mean, this is what you've got in year 2? Are you kidding me? This is crazy. This is special. This is extraordinary. The Louisville Cardinals are back. They're more than back. They are right in the equation at the top of college basketball. Mikal Brown, top 5. He could be in the mix at 1.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Isaac McNeely, Ryan Conwell is a jet of a player. You know, he makes things happen. Isaac McNeely will know his role, but he's a tough shot taker and an even tougher shot maker. And you're right. Javon Hadley and Cason Pryor can play those roles of you got to have good bandmates on a team. And this Louisville team has that. They could play in different ways. They could serve different dishes. They could play different instruments. They've got a wealth of goods. They are what we've been saying Louisville should be for a long time. It's all here. Now, as we all know, it's just a matter of making it all happen. But Cards fans, you should be pumped up. I want to see how minutes get divided at the 5 slot. Obviously, they have no shortage of options between Frew and Khalifa. And Adrian Woolley, to me, I mean, that guy, look at that guy's numbers. Like, man,
Insane.
He averaged 19, 5, and 4 assists per game. He shot the crap out of the ball. So I love this team.
I think it probably won't be after this season, because I think that he's gonna have to play a role with the amount of talent in that backcourt. But I think that Adrian Woolley is gonna be an NBA player. I think he'll be that good when it's all said and done. Because you look at those stats, Fana, and you talk to people around that program, and you know what they tell you about him? It has nothing to do with his shooting or his scoring or his passing.
Pace. It's his pace.
Yeah, they say his pace, acuity. And they say he is a dog, like an absolute dog of a competitor. So I'm in.
I went back and watched Willie's stuff, because obviously like all the hype and 19 points a game and first team all conference USA, the whole thing. Like, he's not Luka Doncic. I'm not saying that, but like he manages the game in the same direction. He's not freaking Luka Doncic. That's not what I'm saying. But you know how Luka.
I think it is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. But like his ability to start and stop, and despite not being super duper fast, just his ability to lean and get guys leaning one way, he's really good. Really, really good.
Can we YouTube that with the headline?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Big picture.
Thing to know number 3. Tio, I'm going to you first on this one. It's a do or die year for Hubert Davis at North Carolina. And I think I've gone back and forth on this, but I think that they have enough to be good enough that he gets another season. I think that they have enough pieces on this roster to be a tournament team. Now, we can debate.
I don't think that solidifies next season. I think you need to be second weekend.
Do you think they have enough to be second weekend at
Yes.
North Carolina this year?
Yes, I do.
Why?
They're huge, first and foremost. They're massive. I think Kyan Evans is really good. There's no more small ball. There were times last season, gentlemen, where, especially when they would play Duke, like their 1, 2, 3 would be like 5'10", 5'10", 6'2". I'm sorry. Being a 6'2" guy doesn't work. You can have one. You can have maybe two. Like, you're going to have to be bigger than that to compete at the top levels of college basketball. Carolina now has that. I'm really intrigued to see how Luka Bogovac does, because, like, he scored a lot of points at SC Derby last year. He has these spurtable characteristics. He was in Montenegro, for people who don't know, and his shooting splits were awesome. And the game is slower in the Adriatic League. The Adriatic League is good, but it's good because it's technical. The NCAA is good, but it's good because it's fast and athletic and chaotic. They're complete polar opposites in terms of style of play and style of game. There couldn't be further apart. So I think he could still have a good season. They paid a lot of money for him, and he's 22 years old or something. So, like, they need him to be good this year. Like, they can't wait on him. So that's going to be, to me, like that's your swing player. Is how good is the guy from Montenegro? There's several other good ones. Caleb Wilson could be one of the best defensive players in college basketball. Henry Visar, the more you watch him, the more you freaking love him. He tries to dunk everything, which is awesome. He brings a certain edge and a toughness. I like their roster. I really do, guys. I think it's a second weekend type of roster.
Here's my question, Theo, and Fanda, you can weigh in on this too. So we know you need a point guard, right? Elliot Cadeau, it was not a secret that he was transferring. He was the word was out and he was being shopped before the season came to an end, right? For places to look for him to land. And we saw guys like Donovan Dent. We saw names like Bennett Sturts. There were a lot of Silas Demery. There were a lot of really good point guards who had their name in the portal this year. And all due respect to Kyan Evans, because I do think Kyan Evans is a good player. He had a good season, had a good Colorado State team, and a good Mountain
really
West
good.
Conference, right? When you know you need a point guard and you are North Carolina and you don't get any of those big names and I don't saying ended up with Kyan Evans feels disrespectful to Kyan Evans. And I'm trying not to be disrespectful to Kyan Evans, but you didn't get one of the biggest names at one of the most important positions. And that to me is a little bit concerning, Fanta.
Well, I think that they must have seen something, and it sounds like Terrence has seen enough to say that he can fit at this level and be a really good guard in the ACC. And if that pans out, then he and Seth Trimble are going to make a good backcourt. I mean, we have to wait and see. Like you could sit here. Here's the deal in college basketball, in my opinion. There's going to be at least 2 teams in the top 15 that in December were like, what the hell happened? What happened? Well, what happened is you have a lot of shiny pieces and shiny toys in the garage, but that doesn't mean that the car works. Like it all has to come together. So it's that with North Carolina, unfortunately for them,
hold on. That was we're not just going to gloss right past that. You have a lot of shiny pieces in the garage, but that doesn't mean that the car works. Did you just come up with that on the fly? Is that a saying?
It's really good.
That was really good.
I just came up with it. Just came off the top of my head. But I think that's just it. Like, okay.
If it looks good, but the engine sucks.
Terrence, pop quiz, Terrence.
Okay.
Did Carolina have talent the last couple of years?
Yes.
Do the pieces all fit together?
No.
Do the pieces fit to what the coach wants to do?
I don't know what the coach wants to do, guys.
Which, in essence, there you go.
Yeah.
That is is that not the biggest question, Terrence, of what this season holds for this program?
100%. That's a great point.
Like
I to this day, I still don't know what Hubert's identity is as a coach and what they are schematically. I just don't know. He's tried different things, and after a while, you kind of got to settle in on something just so you can get the players to what you are.
Right.
And this roster is a complete flip from last year's.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you?
Right. Exactly. So the pressure's on. NC State's gotten better. Louisville's even better. Like Virginia,
They're close.
close.
They're close.
SMU, close. Well coached. So this is a critical year. Like thing number 3 is Carolina has the potential to be a tournament team. Well, it's North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what are we doing?
They should be a tournament team, and they should then, honestly, when they walk into a season, they can be a second weekend team. But, like, what's the metric of expectation? There's a whole lot of new. Another team that we have to see what the backcourt entails, obviously, but they are big. I mean, Vasar's he's very interesting. I love that guy. Caleb Wilson, like, I saw some pictures of Caleb Wilson. I was like, wow. That kid is ready for college basketball. I can't wait to watch him play.
Yeah, the talent's there. They got Jonathan Powell from West Virginia. Jaron Stevenson's a guy who, like,
he had some really good minutes from Alabama.
Yeah, like the talent is, I think it's fair to say, is tantalizing with him. And I love the 2 freshmen they brought in too, Isaiah Dennis and Derek Dixon. Those are just like good, solid backcourt hoopers that will be able to step in and not all that dissimilar from like a Seth Trimble kind of a guy that. They're good as freshmen. They develop and they end up being good starters by the time that they're seniors. So
huge year.
Huge year.
Pivotal year. Not just for Carolina, but the ACC. ACC relies on Carolina.
They need Carolina to be good.
There's
no doubt about it.
Need them. The football. Hey, look, for Carolina, like football doesn't matter that much. Like they need to settle into the fact that it's like, hey, Belichick can't get it going. Like, who in the hell?
The problem
a whole
is that
slew of other issues,
where
still.
Belichick is getting it going is not on the football field right now. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Thing to know, number 4, we got new
leave that
hires at 3 of the schools that I think really matter for the ACC's success as a basketball conference. Virginia, national champions in 2019. Miami, Final Four in 2023. And NC State, which might have the craziest fan base in college basketball this side of Texas Tech. You say there's no easy way to get to Lubbock, T.O. Is there an easy way to get to Raleigh?
Yeah. There's a very easy way to get to Raleigh. What are you talking about?
So,
I'm talking about Lubbock. It's Lubbock.
Talk to me about
Raleigh's not hard to get
Raleigh's
to.
really easy to get to.
You
What are
fly
you
into
talking
dirt,
about?
you fly into Raleigh Airport.
All right, here's
Raleigh
what
Airport's. That's an international airport, Doster. What are you doing?
RDU, baby. All right, T.O., let's start with this. I'm going to let you pick one of those 3 new hires and talk me into why they are the best new hire out of those 3. And then Fanta, I'm going to let you take another one, and then I'll make the argument for the last of the 3. So go ahead. Who you got?
Guys,
T.O.?
all 3 hires were fantastic hires. All 3. All 3 fit the school perfectly. All 3 fit the attitude of the booster club perfectly. Like NC State, they're just pissed all the time. Doesn't matter when or where or who or what. Like, they're just pissed. Like, I'm not saying Will's pissed, but like he's got an edge. It's perfect. Fanta's gone. He didn't agree. You look at Virginia and Ryan Odom, and like you don't think he fits what Virginia is.
He
and
fits
not only that,
everything that Virginia is about, like just kind of this calm, cool demeanor that also, by the way, like they're
nose up in the air a little bit. Not Ryan, but the Booster Club. Not Ryan,
Booster Club.
But like,
and Ryan can fit in that crowd. I'm not saying that Ryan is that crowd.
no,
but he
he's
can
not
fit
that.
in with that crowd.
But he could talk. He could get those people to put their nose down.
Yep.
And then Jay Lucas, who you give him the entire state of Miami, like woo. And not only that, like all those guys are transferring back home.
Mhm.
Like you look at Miami's guys and who all's on that roster now. If they're not from Miami, like they played AAU there, or they played high school there, or pretty close. Like all of them perfect. If I had to pick one though, just because of the fan base, just because of how he fits, because of what they've been through over the past 10 years, it's Will Wade and NC State.
Yep.
Gotta be. Perfect fit.
Yep.
Well, if I can't argue for Will Wade and NC State,
Go ahead, argue. But pick them.
No. You know what? No, I want to be different here, and because I think all 3 of them, I agree with Terrence. So I'm going to make the case for Jay Lucas. I'm going to make the case for Miami here because I'm not trying to discount what Jim Larinaga did. He's a great coach, terrific coach. But you have a large bankroll. You've got South Florida. It's not going to be hard to get people. And Jay Lucas is an elite recruiter. He's going to be able to bring people in. So the setup is there. Now it's about his staff. It's about him designing the right plan to be successful. But when you look at their roster, certainly compared to last year, but compared to other first-year staffs in a job that's kind of the same vein as Miami, where it's not a blue blood, but they do have a lot of money, but of where they stand, like True Washington's a good player.
Good.
And he did a lot of really good things. He did a lot of really good things in the Mountain West, has played in NCAA tournaments, has played in big games for Richard Pitino. Trey Donaldson is a guy who can average 4 or 5 assists per game, can be your setup man. He's a solid shooter. He shot 38% from 3 last year. He shot 41% from 3 the year before. Trey Donaldson makes shots. He distributes. He can be a shot maker. So you have guys who have played in a lot of big games. These are not guys that are just like off the radar transfer from high majors who haven't played in big games. Let's talk about Sheldon Henderson. This kid could be a really intriguing player. I mean, he's
huge.
around a 5-star recruit, and he's 6'6". And Adam Finkelstein says he's one of the most physically imposing players in the country.
He's got massive hands. Like
massive shoulders,
massive hands, massive shoulders, long arms, physical. There's a reason why, like we talked about Duke earlier. Duke has all of these dudes that are just huge, that can guard, that are versatile, that are switchable, that do all that stuff. There's a reason why Shelton Henderson initially committed to Duke.
Yes. So why not for Miami? Renew, like, no, I mean this with all due respect, but when you look at Malik Renew and you look at his college career thus far, I'm sorry, but like, is there any world where the coaching staff that he was previously with was getting the absolute best and the absolute most out of him?
There's no world where there's no world.
The answer to that question is no. It's no. I mean, there's a better chance that I'm going to walk down in the supermodel show than that. So now you've got Renew, who should be motivated, who should be liking the nice warmth and the nice sunshine of Miami, Florida, and Uday. I like it. Like, he's been around. He's an experienced big man, that's what you need when you've got guards who can make shots. Let the guards make shots and you play some defense, you hustle, you accept your role. If they get depth, if they have the right kind of depth, they could be a really intriguing team. Coach Lucas, Miami, younger guy, going to South Beach, knowing how to sell the place. I like it.
Yeah, they're going to really be able to guard T.O. Like, Donaldson can guard. True Washington.
Well, that's kind of where I was going, man. We talked about like overwhelming, and Dasha, you and I talked about, we were talking about Sean Miller. Like, look at those dudes defensively.
Yes.
And like, you didn't even mention Dante Allen.
Yeah, I was about to say,
and who's just a winner, who was playing with the Boozer brothers. Like, here's the great part about the Jay Lucas hire too. Have you guys taken a peek at his staff? Like Eric Pastrana, really good coach. Charlton C.Y. Young, Charlton Young, one of the best recruiters long standing in college basketball. And then Andrew Moran as assistant coach and director of player development. Oh, yeah, and they also got Russell Springman. He hired a hell of a staff. And if you're a first-time head coach, you better hire a good staff. He knocked that out of the park. Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it's nice to see Russ land on his feet. Russ is a guy, for people that know his story, was a long time considered like one of the best assistant coaches in college basketball. Is the next great one, and then it just it didn't work out for him.
In 10 seconds, I want to make this one point. At Miami, where the football teams rank second, 1, there's benefits to all that money. 2, life in the shadows ain't that bad. At NC State and now Virginia, your basketball program is on the front porch. And so there's pressure to get it done.
Yep.
Athlete AI is the story of the athlete. And every athlete deserves to have his story told. Under the lights and in the spotlight. This is your moment, your room. Download, capture, create, share. Athlete AI. Your name is True.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that. I'll make the argument real quick for Ryan Odom at Virginia. He's won everywhere that he's been. Yep. A lot of that has been a result of being at programs like Utah State, where it's impossible not to win, and VCU, where literally everybody wins. My son can go coach VCU to a 25-10 record this season.
We love your son. Could you?
But I guarantee I could get VCU to a 25-10 record. I guarantee it. VCU, man. All they do is win. All they do is win.
What about
give me that look,
UMBC?
Don't give me that look, T.O. Look, UMBC wasn't a great job, and he pulled off the upset, which, by the way, is my favorite like kind of nugget in this. Ryan Odom from third grade through 10th grade and like his formulative fan years as a child was living in Charlottesville as the son of an assistant on Virginia's staff. So he grew up something of a UVA fan, goes to UMBC, and is the guy that that knocks
First
off
ever 16
UVA,
one.
first ever 16/1, and then goes out and replaces I don't want to say replaces Tony Bennett, but is the start of the post Tony Bennett era, I think is fair to say. All due respect to Ron Sanchez, but I love the addition of Tees de Ritter. I think Johan Grunlow is a guy that might take a little bit more time to get acclimated to college basketball.
That dude can shoot it.
Yeah, but Jakari White, Malik Thomas is
Jakari White's a bad dude too.
Yeah, and Malik Thomas too.
If you go back and watch his stuff, dude, you want to talk about silky smooth? My God, like legs that just flexible, strong legs. Like he gets to spots and plays with good balance. I think the underrated piece, the whole thing's down hall.
Yes.
He's just a wildly underrated get for them because they have scores. You got to have somebody get it to him. And the dude's like, because he went on a mission. And so, and he's a senior, like he's an older guy to come in and play with some of these scores. Like they're good, man. Like Virginia's good. I'm sitting here like,
and Ryan, he's
my favorite quote.
Don't sleep on Sammy Lewis.
I will say
Lewis,
this
he's a good player.
About all three of those guys, those coaches. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. About all three of those coaches, I think they landed in the perfect spot for them, and I think that they're in a spot now where we're going to be looking at having all of those programs as like consistent top 25, consistent like they can win a game, get to the second weekend kind of programs, and I think that's what the ACC needed. It's not just North Carolina being back or Louisville and Duke winning at a certain level. It's you need the middle of the conference to be better, and they got better.
But I want to see Syracuse win.
Well, there you go. Thing to know, number 5 is two guys that are going to show up on hot seat lists in Adrian Autry and Mike Young. I think both of them have tournament caliber teams this year.
Dude, ain't nobody getting rid of Mike Young.
Boo!
He already showed up on I'm not going to name the name.
Boo!
He showed up on a hot seat list that I saw as of the morning that we are recording this. I hope it doesn't happen. Mike Young might be my favorite human being in coaching.
It's only like one person who puts that list out too, T.O.
Yep.
He's not good. Nobody. Mike Young's not going anywhere. They decided to keep him and then just give him more money. To
but there's
guys.
pressure.
And buddy, did they ever? Virginia Tech.
All right, so let's talk about Neo.
I like him. I like the Hokies.
Huh?
Talk about Neo Abdallas because this dude is a stud,
man. And not only that, the kid they got from Delaware, Isaiah Pasha, like what, dude?
He's a good player.
Shot maker. Really good player. And imagine playing with good players. A really good player that's going to play with good players.
Yeah,
he played with John Camden at Delaware, but it was just him and him.
But how about Neo Abdallas? I've heard a lot of good things about this
He's
kid.
Really good.
Running point.
He surveys the floor. He's every bit of 6'9", like can shoot the basketball. You go underneath. He can pull up over top. He's athletic enough to finish in the lane. Like he gets a defensive rebound and like they could just flood. Like they could just go. And it's going to be fun to watch. And not only that, like the guys they brought in, I have my list right here, but the guys they brought in,
shoot.
Amani Hansberry, you remember an all toughness guy? We watched him with Team Durant. He was like all of our favorite player. And he was good last year at West Virginia. Not great, but good. But he does a lot of those things that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. Jalen Bedford from UNLV is a really good shooter. Had some really good moments in the Mountain West tournament.
Jaden Shoot. Jaden Shoot can still like he can.
Jaden Shoot, man.
There's a reason why his last name is Shoot.
And he's 6'5". Like Toby Lawal, like chin at the rim kind of guy.
Returnee.
Tyler Johnson improved. Ben Hammond, like Antonio Dorn is 7 feet and is as big as a door. He ought to be Antonio Dorn, not Antonio Dorn.
Look, they've got real
Nothing,
talent.
Not even a titter.
It was okay.
But like you got to have somebody. You got to have somebody that'll screen and get these guys open. That front court is physical, especially with those two guys. They got a guy named Christian Gerdak, who He's also a big wide body that's pretty good. Played with Takeover a couple years ago. Like, this is a good team. This isn't a kind of good team. This is a very good team. A team that should be dancing.
Yes, I agree.
No questions asked. That Mike Young, if given the opportunity, if given the resources, he is a winner, and he's a really, really good coach. One of the better coaches in America, I still think. And I think that when you look at this team, if Avdalis can pan out to the degree a lot of people are saying that he can, I think he's one of the most fast. If I were to make a list of players I'm most intrigued to watch in this league heading into this year, Neo Avdalis would be on that list, because this kid is 6'9", and
he's a potential lottery pick.
He's got this Greek smooth game about him. You said it. You know, he already has been in the NBA draft combine, so that is a really intriguing, very intriguing player who, you're right, can be a lottery pick. There's a couple lottery picks in this league. There's a couple, couple top 3 picks maybe in this league. That's good for the ACC too, to have maybe the number 1 pick in the draft and a couple top 3, top 5 picks from not just Duke but multiple schools. But if think of Avdalis setting the table for a guy like Jaden Shoot and a guy like Isaiah Pasha. There's reason to believe Virginia Tech can be the dark horse in this conference, and that when the calendar turns to January and February and some of the heavyweights go into Blacksburg, you hear Enter Sandman, and the place goes crazy.
Cool venue.
Tough place to play when it fills up.
Yeah.
Cool. Tio, for Neo Avdalis, the comp that I kind of came away with watching him was somewhere between Franz Wagner and Yegor Demon.
Yeah, I was going to say Yegor Demon.
I think he's more of a wing than Yegor Demon, but he's more of a point guard than Franz Wagner. Like, there's a little bit more on-ball stuff with him, but I think that long-term, Franz Wagner, in terms of the impact that he has, is about where I would place him. Is that crazy?
I'll buy.
All right. Talk me into Syracuse, T.O.
Dude, if you can't get it done with this roster, can you get it done at all? Fanta, have you seen this roster?
It's a very good roster, and it's not just a bunch of new. I mean, you bring back J.J. Starling, you've got Donovan Freeman and William Kyle in your front court. Like, there's reason to believe that the Orange are, with Nate George as well. It's everyone's going to talk about Carmelo Anthony's son Kyan, and I love Kyan and think he's got a bright future ahead of him. This roster is more than just that. It's more than just the freshman class. The setup is there for the Orange to be an NCAA tournament team.
I mean, the best case scenario is if the freshmen all have to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Kyan Anthony and Sadiq White, and I know you love Luke Fennell, T.O., but if those 3 guys are like your 6th, 7th, 8th guys, 7th, 8th, 9th guys, then that's the sweet spot. That's where Syracuse is dancing.
Yeah, I mean, the pieces are there. They've got shooting. They've got scores. Got to get it done. The biggest piece is Nate George.
Yes.
And how's he going to be able to get these guys going? Sadiq White, though, like we talk about Toby Lawal, who I would say is the best athlete in the class, in the conference, rather, not class, but the conference. He's that good of an athlete, but it's going to come down to Nate George. You have all these shooters. I think the pieces fit a lot better with this roster this season than in years past. I think last year it was kind of like grasping at straws and just trying to get the best players. I think there was intent with these guys and who they brought in. Alex Klein, the GM there, did a really nice job with this roster. If you can't get it done with this roster, I have my doubts moving forward. So Syracuse needs to be an NCAA tournament team. I currently don't have them projected as an NCAA tournament team.
Really?
I don't think they make it. But the talent is there to make it.
You talked about 8 teams earlier. I'm curious. We'll get to that in a second because I have Syracuse as a tournament team. So I'll be interested to see how that kind of shakes out. All right, let's get into. I'm going to get to the power rankings now. Okay. And I don't want to spend too much time on the top 5 because we've already done quite a bit on that. But to me, the title tier that can win the ACC championship this year it's Louisville and Duke. And if you want to throw it Virginia, any of these other teams in there, I'll listen to it, but it's either Louisville or Duke. I would go Louisville, then Duke. I will hear an argument for Duke and then Louisville, but I think it's those top two, and whatever order you have them in, you have them in. They're both, to me, borderline top 5 teams that can win a national championship.
Okay.
I agree with all that.
The contenders, the next tier for me would be Virginia, NC State, and North Carolina. And I think those 3 teams are all capable of being in the top 25 all year long, are all capable of winning a game in the tournament. And with the 2 schools from Carolina, I would say both of them are capable of getting to the second weekend.
Throw Virginia Tech in there.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. You think they're that good?
It's not just that they're that good. It's that they're that good with Mike Young.
Yep. So I have the next tier for me are tournament or teams that I think are good enough to be favored.
Yes.
Like it's more likely than not that they get into the tournament. I have Clemson, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and Miami in that tier. I think they get 8 out of 9. I think there's 8 teams in the tournament.
You are disrespecting the ponies.
That's where you're disrespecting.
You are disrespecting
the
Mustangs.
I think SMU gets in.
SMU.
Talk me into
No,
it.
I almost put SMU in tier 2. They might be the best in tier 3.
Okay, talk to me. Talk me into it, Fana.
Okay, Boopy Miller, Jerron Pierre, Corey Washington. They've got a perimeter that can be able to do a lot of different things.
And BJ Edwards might be the best guard defender in the conference.
Was just going to bring him up. Like, they've got BJ Edwards. They've got Jermaine O'Neal Jr., but if you look at their front court, okay, Toglu, that kid's a player. And I think that he's going to be able to come into this league, be physical, and get it done. I know Sam Walters doesn't have this, this rich resume and stuff, but that's another guy who has been in a lot of big games and should be able to fit the bill for what they're looking for at the 4. They don't need him to have the ball in his hands to impact the game. Boopy Miller is a star. He's a star, and they know that he's steering that ship. I think they've got the right pieces around him. Andy Enfield's a good coach. They are the best example of a team that's got to win some non-conference games to validate their status, because if they do, I think they're going to win enough league games. I'm not concerned about them in league. I'm concerned about them. They got that stretch of Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. They got a couple of really, I've got the schedule right here. They've got Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, A&M in Arlington, and LSU. You got to beat LSU. You can't fall victim at Miss State and at Vandy, SMU. You got to be able to win one of those 2 games. A&M, throw the ball up. We'll see. Man, does SMU, their season is hinging on the start of conference play. Listen to this. Jan 3rd, home to Carolina. Jan 7, at Clemson. Jan 10, at Duke. Yep. Jan 14, Virginia Tech. Jan 17, Virginia. If they can get through that in the start of January and be afloat with a couple of non-conference wins, that team is going to come out and they're going to find a way to dance. I like their makeup, and I think Andy is one of the more underrated coaches. If he could get USC going to dances, he can get SMU going to dances. The Mustangs have talent, Terrence.
Jerron Pierre and Corey Washington too. This was a guy at Wichita State that I went and did a game, and I had some NBA franchises call me and be like, "What'd you think about him?" Not as a first round pick, but a late second guy who boards, plays hard, plays with your summer league kind of deal. I like the mental makeup of this group. Like, this is a tough bunch of kids. I think you throw SMU in that tournament group. What's your next tier, just out of curiosity?
So the teams that can make a tournament, but I think it's more likely they end up on the wrong side of the bubble.
Put Clemson in that group.
Okay. So you would have
in that group. So move Clemson down into that group. They can make the tournament. I think they're bubbly. Maybe on the wrong side of it.
So I would have in that tier for me was Wake Forest, SMU, Georgia Tech. You take those 7 combined, it's Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Miami, Clemson, Wake Forest, SMU, Georgia Tech. I think the SEC needs.
You think NC State? Hold on. Where did you have where do you have NC State?
With the content, like in the top 5.
Okay.
So there's 5 teams that I think are going to dance without a doubt, and then that group of 7, I think you need 3 or 4 out of there. Clemson, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Miami, Wake Forest, SMU, Georgia Tech.
I would say Virginia Tech, SMU.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, SMU, they're both making the tournament.
But here's the thing.
I
Wait
think
a
you
minute.
I think
though.
Miami.
You gotta,
I think Miami and Cuse can both make it too. I'm not
But
sold
you
on
gotta
SMU
win
guys. I'll be
games.
honest. Like I don't know if they have enough up front, and I don't know if they have the depth.
Who?
They got like 8 freshmen that are going to be
who?
SMU. I like their guards. I don't know if I trust their front court, but
Here's the other thing, though, man. The tournament hasn't expanded to 76. So if you're sending 9 teams to the tournament, you better. Where are the bids coming from? That means the SEC is taking a big step back. That means that the Big Ten is not getting as many teams as they've had. And that means that the Big East is only getting 3 or 4. If all those things happen, then you're going to get 8 or 9. But that, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to get 8, I would set the bar at 8. 9 seems a little.
I'm at 8.
9 seems ambitious to me, but I would say the tournament has not expanded yet. It's going to expand. Rob's ready. Yeah, I mean it's going to happen now.
yeah, way to snitch.
Way to will that into existence.
Way to snitch.
You said you fired me. I figured I'd go out guns blazing.
You jerk.
you let everyone know what our burner is. Just don't let Goodman have access to that account. All right, the last 6 teams, because we got to mention everybody on these podcasts, these season previews. If you don't mention everyone, you get yelled at by fans nonstop. It's very frustrating. I'm putting the rest in alphabetical order so no one can get mad at me about where they're ranked. Okay, Boston College, Cal, Florida State, Notre Dame, Pitt, and Stanford. I think Notre Dame's got a chance, and I buy into Micah Shrewsbury's coaching, but got to stay healthy, got to prove it. Pitt, they're missing. I don't think Deshaun Jackson is going to play this year, and I don't know if I necessarily trust everything else. I'll tell you guys why after. I don't think I can't say it publicly.
It's Jamie Shaw already broke it.
It's out there. Okay.
If you're curious about it, go look at his tweets.
Yeah, it's.
Too bad.
The rest of
It's
those, I
too
don't know.
bad.
Is there anything about those 6 teams that people should be excited about to you?
The only teams that I don't see making the tournament, no matter how good it goes, are Boston College and Florida State.
Right.
Wake Forest. People are on Steve like he's won 20 games the last 3 years. Like, whatever hot seat people are talking about, take him off. Like, do you remember what Wake Forest came from? Like, we've got stories. We've got stories. Georgia Tech, I've heard, is going to be tough. They love their team down there. They have a kid named Muhammad Silla, who's a top 15, top 20-ish player. Kai Fleming is really, really good. Jaden Mustaf returns. Kawasi Reeves is finally healthy. If he's interested in playing basketball, to be determined. I'm just saying he doesn't seem all that interested in playing basketball. I hope, and he's coming to media day. I'm actually going to ask him about it. Hey, do you like basketball? Because if you don't, you shouldn't be taking a seat of somebody else there. He's gone on study abroad trips while everybody else is working out. He's quick.
Keep going.
He's quick to sit. All that. So, but he's a former McDonald's All-American. He's a COVID McDonald's All-American, Fanta. It's time to put up or shut up. And I'm liking the shut up.
But you want the best for him, right?
I want the best for him. I want the best for him. But all those tools and everything, we're like, dude, where's it at? Okay, so anyway, so Cam Kraft comes, had some shooting. That team's going to be okay. Cal's interesting. Have you guys looked at that lineup? They're interesting.
I'm looking at it now. Let me take another look at it.
That's like
interesting in what way? Day Ames and Justin Pippen?
No, Day Ames, good setup guy. They were dead last in 3-point shooting last year. They had Chris Bell, who was the best shooter in conference play last year. He shot like 44% from 3. And then John Camden shot north of 45%. He took some bad ones at Delaware. Milos Illich from Loyola, Maryland. Go watch his film. That's fun.
It's a big level up, though, right?
It is. It's a huge level up. But Loyola, Maryland, at the same time, like they've had guys get drafted now. So like especially in the front court, like just go watch.
Do you know who the best player to ever come through Loyola, Maryland is?
It's the Spanish guy. He's playing for the Grizzlies now.
Nope. Fake news. He is playing for the Grizzlies. It's not a Spanish guy. He's in fact the opposite of Spanish.
What is he?
He is a national champion.
Cam Spencer.
Put some respect on Cam Spencer's name, T.O.
Well,
Unbelievable.
His teammate with the Grizzlies is the best player to ever play at that school at that time.
I'm going to tell Cam Spencer you said that, and he's going to come over there and he's going to fight you.
What's the guy's name? He played for a Spanish national team. He's like 6'11", shoots it.
I'm blanking on it.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
If you told me who it was. What the fuck?
Cal's interesting. Stanford's huge and interesting if they can improve their percentages. There's interest there. The only teams that I'm just like, God, just please don't bottom out and beat somebody in February is Florida State and Boston College. Everybody else I could see having success.
Santi Aldama.
That's it. That's him.
Yep.
I think of the teams you just listed, I actually am going to go with Wake Forest because
they could be good.
Nate Calmes from Washington State was a guy who averaged around 15, 16 a game. Makai Masons can be a double-figure scorer. And Miles Colvin, like maybe a change in destination will allow him to, one, get more. He's going to get the ball more.
Yeah, touch the ball.
You know, he's going to touch the ball. I mean, you're just not going to, like, there's just some players who they're never going to find the best version of themselves at a heavyweight program because they're not good enough on that team to get on the floor and have a role carved out for them. And the writing's on the wall. So, like, now you change destinations.
Wake Forest isn't a big-time program fan?
What's that?
You said you just aren't going to be able to carve out a role with a big-time program. Wake Forest isn't a big-time program?
No.
It's different than Purdue, though.
Like, it's different.
Yeah.
These are different. No, I think Wake Forest.
I was just setting you up to get a phone call from Forbes.
I think Wake Forest is a good program. Purdue has been one of the very, very best programs in the country, and I think for Miles Colvin's sake, he can benefit from going to Wake Forest.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm talking Wake Forest up here.
Yeah,
this is quite the contrast.
I gotta
Cooper Schweiger.
I think Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has caught really bad injury bug, and I think that the Irish can turn a corner this year.
I
don't mean this just to Notre Dame. I mean this as a whole. How good can your team really be if your best player is 5'9"?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out. T.O.
But they brought Jalen Harrelson as a good player.
Juke Harris.
What I do know is I got a 5-month-old that's ready for me, so I got to run in a second.
Yeah, okay. Juke Harris, T.O. Juke Harris.
Good. Leaky Black with a jump shot, hopefully.
There you go. All right.
Same build.
Player of the year. I got Cam Boozer, preseason player of the year. Cam Boozer, preseason freshman of the year. It's very hard for me to go with anyone from Louisville because I think it's going to be more by committee than anything else. Preseason coach of the year. I went with Ryan Odom. Preseason transfer of the year. I went with your boy Darren Williams, who I think is going to be a star. Bold prediction. Fanta, give me one bold prediction.
NC State to the Sweet 16 in year one of Will Wade.
Nice. Like it. T.O.
Three teams to the second weekend, 8 teams get in the dance.
8 teams in the dance.
Bold. Duke and Louisville are 2 of the 3.
Well, I guess I'll go.
It's 8 teams. I like that percentages.
Yeah. Well,
I like those percentages.
Okay.
Give us a negative one. Doster. See what you can come up with.
You guys, your hype train about SMU is gonna be incorrect.
Oh, screw you.
Bold, real bold prediction. I think Louisville is going to be playing for a national championship in Indianapolis. I think they're going to be.
All right.
I think they're going to be that good. Listen, this has been the DTF podcast. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow and Wednesday for all of our ACC Media Day coverage. And once you get tired of that, once you get tired of hearing T.O.'s voice over and over and over and over and over again, go check out Peacock and NBC for your boy John Fanta at Big Ten Media Day. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Fanta, go take care of your son.